Right now at 5, what we're learning about the effort to relieve medical debt for thousands of four-staters.
Plus, we have a windy morning ahead of us. I'll tell you how long that'll last and more.
Plus, obesity rates are on the rise in Missouri. We hear from a dietitian about ways you can avoid packing on the pounds through the holidays.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Well, good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5 a.m. I'm Elise Snowy.
And I'm Chloe Arroyo. Well, good morning, Elise. How are you doing?
It is going to be a wonderful Wednesday today, just a week away from Christmas.
Yes.
I can't believe it.
1 week away. That is so exciting. I know it doesn't feel like it too much outside. It hasn't been feeling like it. Like if we didn't know what month it was, I wouldn't have guessed December.
No, not at all. Not
I would have said like
slightest.
October, maybe early November, but right now,
Christmas
not
time.
so much, not so much. And the winds sure are sweeping down the plains this morning. It's not extreme right now, but in the next couple of hours, expect those winds to really begin to ramp up. In fact, let's go ahead and look at our current winds right now. These are sustained winds at about 5 to 15 miles per hour, some upwards of about 5 to 15 miles per hour. Sorry, I haven't woken up fully yet, clearly, but those northerly winds are slowly but surely beginning to ramp up, and our wind gusts over the next couple of hours could peak upwards of 35 miles per hour. Around 8 a.m., we'll see those wind gusts around 30 or so. So school drop off this morning as the kiddos are heading out, making sure that they are aware of that, possibly pull their hair back as well, making sure that you're staying aware. Even around lunchtime, we'll see those wind gusts still peaking up, and then we'll calm down later on this afternoon. Our temperatures right now are still cooling down. This cold front is pushing through the 4 states over the next couple of hours, and so we're going to continue to cool down. So between the colder temperatures and even the wind gusts, our feel-like temperatures are going to be a whole lot colder, making us feel like the upper teens, especially for our further northwestern counties, and even in the 30s off to our east, our folks in southwestern Missouri and northwestern Arkansas. So keeping that in mind, your body doesn't respond to the actual temperature. It's going to respond more so to the feel like temperature. So to the kiddos out there, it's going to feel like the teens. So as you head out this morning, the bus stop forecast, our temperatures are going to be in the 30s. But like I said, those wind gusts are still going to ramp up. And even this afternoon, they'll calm down just a little bit, but we're still going to be on the cooler side, even though those clouds will start to dissipate. So coming up in a bit, we're going to talk more. This is not an accurate representation of what we're going to talk about tonight, but we're still going to see more chances for wind gusts this afternoon, even though they'll begin to calm down. We'll also talk about that long-range forecast. I'll have those details and more coming up.
All right, Chloe, thanks. Well, learning more about the effort by Hope City Church to help hundreds of area families with their medical debt. KOAM's Melissa Alexis spoke to church staff about how it all came to be.
Goes beyond these walls. It is not just about Hope City.
Every year before Christmas, Hope City Church in Joplin makes an investment into the community. And this year, they donated money to relieve thousands of people of their medical debt.
It is something that weighs heavy on families, and when something like medical debt is so just impacting your family, it just starts to ooze out in different ways of stressors. And so something that's just constantly looming, those are the things that keep us awake at night when we're wondering, how are we going to take care of this?
She says the church coming together as a community is what made this all possible.
If you were to walk in here on a Sunday morning, you're going to get to just see the heart of our people from the moment that you enter our parking lot.
The church is supposed to be about the people in the community that it represents. And so we want to make sure that the folks in the Joplin area and the 4-state area know that our heart and our hope is that we would be a blessing to those around us.
Through the church's budget and donations from the community, they were able to eliminate $4.2 million of medical debt for 3,200 people in southwest Missouri and northwest Arkansas.
We have folks in our own church family who have been burdened with medical debt, and even the conversations we've had with them is just going, man, a lot of folks don't know what it's like to feel the weight of that.
Hearing stories from families who are having to pick and choose between certain financial things. We know families who have even had to sell their home, sell everything in their home so that they can try to manage their finances better.
Letters will be sent out in the coming weeks to notify families that their medical debt will be taken care of.
Hey, this life is it's not just about me anymore, it is about those around me.
Reporting in Joplin, Melissa Alexis, KOAM News.
Hope City Church partnered with an organization that helps negotiate medical debt of some people who most need help in the community. Well, Missouri is ranked 16th worst in the nation for obesity, with 36% of the state's population classified as obese. Now that means they have a body mass index higher than 30. Jasper County is at the state average, but neighboring Newton and McDonald counties rank a little worse than average. The CDC recommends 150 minutes of exercise a week, as well as eating a balanced diet, reducing sugary foods and beverages to control weight gain.
I think the most important thing is consistency. A lot of people will have, tips, tricks on what to do as far as workouts, diet, but consistency, I believe, is the most important thing in getting with a personal trainer to talk about your goals and really learn what you need to do for yourself, for your body, to get in shape and stay in shape.
The CDC says being mindful of your daily consumption will help prevent unattended weight gain. Joplin area Catholic schools shine light on the history of Catholic education in the city. The Jack's Past, Present, and Future series will also examine the current state of Catholic education in Joplin and take a look at the vision for the future of the schools. It'll feature a look at the Sisters of Mercy who laid the foundation for Catholic education in Joplin. Now, the goal is to share the rich history of Catholic education with the city.
The community to know that we're here, that we have a very strong mission focused on service and giving back to our community. We're focused on our faith and instilling those values into our children, and we just want to be able to share that with the community and those around us.
Jax has a series of sessions planned in January, which concludes with a bus tour led by Mercy Hospital President Jeremy Drinkwitz. Well, Joplin's Freeman Auxiliary continued an annual Christmas tradition yesterday. Group members delivered armloads of gifts to place below the Christmas tree at the Ronald McDonald House of the Four States. Now, the gifts will brighten the holidays for the 7 families temporarily staying there. And that's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes, coming up on the KOAM Morning News. Missouri Southern basketball takes on Northeastern State. We'll have those details. Plus, over 100 rescuers struggle to get an injured woman out of a cave in northern Italy. And we have a cooler and sunny day today. We'll have what to expect with Chloe Arroyo in the Sky Watch Weather Center. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back. Pittsburgh State men's basketball was back in action after more than a week of rest. The Gorillas are down in San Antonio, taking part in the River City Holiday Classic, with the first of 2 games happening yesterday afternoon. Now, Pitt State falls 62-58 to University of Missouri St. Louis. The Gorillas trailed by 11 points at halftime, but came back in the second. However, that comeback falls just short. Point guard Jordan Friesen scores 17 points to go with 7 assists for the Gorillas. Now, they're back in action this afternoon against Colorado Mesa. Well, Missouri Southern basketball has also been off for more than a week, and the last time the Lions played was Sunday the 8th at Central Oklahoma. The men's team won that game, and the Lady Lions lost, but Southern teams were back at home last night facing an MIAA opponent in Joplin. Missouri Southern women's basketball at home against Northeastern State. Now, we pick it up early in the 4th quarter. Lions lead by 9, but the Riverhawks are going away quietly. Courtney Lee gets fouled and the shot drops. That cuts the deficit down to 6. On the other end, Ryan Franklin with a beautiful spin to the hoop. She finishes with the left-hand Lions back up by 8. But once again, Northeastern State hanging around with just over 4 minutes left. Alex Hill dives to the hoop and she gets fouled. Count the bucket after she hits a free throw. It's a 1-point game. 90 seconds, Lions up by 2. They need a bucket. The freshman Grace Fraser finds Morgan Meyer. Her layup is good. As Southern hangs on down the stretch, Lions improved to 2-1 in conference play. They beat Northeastern State 75-71. Missouri Southern men's basketball at home in Joplin trying to win its second straight conference game. Early first half, Keon Edwards starts out hot from the floor for Northeastern State, and he hits a baseline jumper here. Riverhawks take a 4-0 lead. On the other end, Martin Messina's a great pass to Tyreke Brooks on a backdoor cut. The freshman from Springfield trims the lead to 5. A couple of minutes later, Jalen Taylor goes right at 2 defenders. He's fouled and the shot drops. Lions within 4. But Northeastern State once again finds Edwards, this time for 3. Nothing but net. Lions trail for the entire first half, but the Lions start to heat up and Taylor finds Jamari Lawrence. He knocks in a 3-pointer. Southern takes it first lead early in the second half. It stays in front until the final couple minutes, and that's where it slips away. Final score 81-79. The Oklahoma City Thunder play in the championship round of the NBA's in-season tournament last night. And although this game does not count towards OKC's regular season standings, there's a financial incentive for the players. Now, every player on the winning team gets upwards of $500,000, whichever team loses. Every player on that squad is guaranteed $200,000, and that's what the Thunder will be going home with. They fall to the Bucks 97-81. Again, the good news for OKC, this game doesn't even count towards their record. Well, still to come, a new study suggests drinking a small amount of wine each day may protect your heart. Plus, a check of the 7-day forecast when the KOAM Morning News returns.
Well, welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5:16 and those winds are starting to slowly but surely ramp up this morning. We've got that northerly wind. We have a cold front pushing through, and behind that front we see some northerly winds. That's going to cool us down, and they're going to start to increase from here on out. So right now we're anywhere from 10 to 15 miles per hour. This is our sustained wind. However, our wind gusts could get upwards of 35 miles per hour, and then around 8 a.m. will be around 25 to 30 miles per hour for our wind gusts. And then around lunchtime, we'll still see a pretty significant wind gust until this afternoon will calm down just a little bit. So this morning, your morning work commute, as the kiddos head out to that bus stop this morning, really keep that in mind. Also keep in mind, we have this cold front right here. This is pushing through, pushing southward. And behind that, we've got our temperatures really in the mid to upper 30s. And in front of that, we're still in the 40s. So we're going to continue to cool down as this pushes further south over the next couple of hours. You have those colder temperatures. You also have those wind gusts. That's going to make your feel like temperature a whole lot colder. Keep in mind, this is what your body responds to, not the actual temperature. So we've got feel like temperatures in the teens for our northwestern counties this morning. So keep that in mind. Make sure you're bundling up. Even this afternoon, we're going to still feel like we're in the upper 20s to lower 30s. Now for your bus stop forecast, like I said, we're still having those temperatures in the 30s, but with those wind gusts, it's going to feel a whole lot colder. We'll have decreasing clouds throughout the afternoon, so as the kiddos are heading home, it'll be a little bit more sunny this afternoon. The wind will calm down just a little bit, but only enough to warm us up into the 40s this afternoon. 45 for your high today in Joplin, and we'll slowly start to cool down after about 4 p.m. this afternoon and into the evening. Our clouds are still going to continue to dissipate until we're pretty much clear tomorrow morning. Temperatures in the lower 30s, 30 degrees tonight for your low in Joplin. So we'll continue to see those colder temperatures later on tonight, more so seasonable for this time of year. Here's a look at your future track. This week, we'll see a ridge set in, and that is really going to bring us calmer conditions at the end of this week. So we're talking Friday, Saturday, Sunday, calm and clear, but a little on the cooler side. Our temperatures are going to be really chilly on Friday afternoon and more so mild throughout the weekend. And then next week on Christmas Eve, now our models are starting to make more of a trend, indicating that our rain chances will start Monday night into Tuesday morning, so the morning of Christmas Eve. So pushing that a little bit further ahead in the schedule beforehand. And that's going to push off and we won't have to worry about that by Tuesday evening. Here's a look at your 7-day forecast. We also have a chance for some showers a couple days after Christmas Day. We're talking Friday, 20% chance of showers. So 2 days, specifically 3 days actually, to look at on your 10-day forecast. Stick around. Health Watch is next.
Topping Health Watch this morning. Well, it's the most wonderful time of the year, but it can also add stress for special needs families. Now, things that create holiday magic for some can be challenging for others. Karen Kaifa is in Washington with a look at how families and communities can keep things calm and bright for everyone.
The holiday season lights up the senses, but Shantae Snellgrove, founder and publisher of Parenting Special Needs magazine, says for some, it can be too much.
There's a lot of sensory overload, which can create a lot of extra stress for the families.
And the winter break from the regular routine of school can also bring challenges for children with special needs.
Changes in routine and schedules and the kind of hubbub that goes along with the holiday season can be difficult.
Snellgrove says to use visual strategies to make the unfamiliar more predictable. Show videos of new experiences and photos of new people and practice what to do if things become overwhelming.
Give them options. If the noise is too loud, or if the lights are bothering you, then please tell mom.
Communication is essential when hosting or visiting during the holidays. Lindsay Nader, Vice President of Services and Supports at Autism Speak, says to offer a helping hand when things don't go according to plan, but understand a child may just need a break.
Sometimes that looks like just providing them space and being warm and accepting and understanding that, just because someone's having a tough time doesn't mean the entire experience is over for them.
And in addition to managing a child's expectations for a new place or event, adults should manage their own for the season.
It's really important to remember that you need to celebrate all successes, and the celebrations might need to look a little bit different and should focus in on what works best for that child.
In Washington, I'm Karen Kaifa.
Now, new research concludes drinking a small amount of wine each day may protect the heart. However, health experts are divided on how much that amount should be, or perhaps if to drink at all. Now, a study looked at a group of people over the age of 60 at risk of heart disease. It found drinking a half to 1 glass of wine a day cut the risk of a heart attack or stroke by 50%. Now, that's compared to people who drink no wine. But that benefit is lost when drinking more than a glass of wine a day. Now, some doctors and health critics say this study doesn't take into account harmful effects of alcohol, including wine. Experts add that many people don't accurately measure their wine pouring, and where guidelines show a true portion of wine is only 4 ounces, many people may go for a bigger pour. Well, vitamin D and calcium are important supplements for overall health, but they don't reduce the risk of falls or fractures in generally healthy older adults. Now, that's according to a new draft recommendation from the U.S. Preventative Services Task Force. Now, vitamin D helps the body absorb calcium and benefits the immune system, the brain, and muscle performance. But to protect from fractures and falls, the task force recommends regular exercise and screenings for osteoporosis. Now, the draft recommendation is not yet final. It'll be open for public comment through mid-January. Well, Oxford's word of the year for 2024 is brain rot. Now, it refers to the feeling you get after spending long hours aimlessly scrolling through internet content. Now, medical experts say it's a real condition and it's very concerning. Jen Sullivan explains how binge watching affects our brains.
Many of us are guilty of it, mindlessly binge scrolling through internet content. But could that be doing damage to our brains? Medical experts say it can cause what's referred to as brain rot.
It's a real thing, and it's concerning for a lot of people.
Medical experts say consuming long stretches of low-quality content online can trigger cognitive decline, brain fog, and shorten our attention span. But overindulging in internet content can cause even more severe symptoms like depression in teens.
More than 3 hours a day for teens seem to double their risk of depression.
So how does excessive binge watching impact our brains?
It tends to thin certain areas of the brain called the cortex that is responsible for your memory and your perception.
What can we do to prevent brain rot? Limiting our screen time can help. The most recent survey from Pew Research Center asked a group of teens ages 13 through 17 about their tech usage. 95% say they have access to a smartphone. 46% say they use the internet almost constantly. But it's not just a teen problem. A different Pew survey found that 90% of adults say they use the web daily, and 41% say they are online almost constantly. Medical experts say it's important to keep track of how much time you spend online to prevent binge watching. For Health Minute, I'm Jen Sullivan.
And that's a look at some of today's top health stories. You're watching the KOAM Morning News.
Plus, we're still tracking winds that are going to increase throughout the rest of the day. I'll have the timeline and more details on your forecast coming up.
Right now at 5:30, our partners at Bishop and Hayes take us on a toy box shopping spree.
Plus, it looks to be a windy morning for a lot of folks. I'll have the timeline and more coming up.
Plus, the Cherryvale Public Library invites the community for some Christmas gift giving.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Well, good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5:30. I'm Elise Noe.
And I'm Chloe Arroyo, and we're officially 1 week away from Christmas. That's so
exciting. Yes, yesterday we wrapped up our Toy Box Tuesday campaign. So thank you so much to everyone who called in and donated and dropped off toys. This is the last day you guys are going to be seeing these toys here. They are all being packed up later on today and going to some very fortunate kids in our area. So thank you again so much.
So exciting. There are toys all over the studio. So really thinking about all of the kids that are going to be so happy to have all of these toys. It's really exciting and really inspiring to see.
It really is. The second year of myself experiencing Toy Box and just the impact that it makes in the community and how many people benefit from it. It's just amazing to see.
100%. Oh yeah, you can't go wrong with that. Good old community service right there.
Absolutely.
Love it. And those kids are gonna love their toys, but it's not gonna be much of a white Christmas for folks. So it might, in fact, it's going to be warmer than normal for Christmas in general. I mean, we normally don't see a white Christmas, but the fact that it's going to be so warm, it's already been warm, except for this morning. We'll see a little bit of a taste of December, but we'll also see the winds. So if you take a look at your current map right now, you'll see the crazy winds that we've got going on right now, and they're going to continue to increase. We've got winds sustaining upwards of 10 to 15 miles per hour. That's going to continue to increase, and we'll see wind gusts upwards of 35 miles an hour in the next hour or so. And then around 8 a.m. this morning, we'll see those northerly winds around 30 to 25 miles per hour. That's also going to make our wind chills a whole lot colder. We also have a cold front coming through the 4 states right now, so our temperatures are in the 40s, and behind that are in the 30s. So like I said, our feel like temperatures are going to be a whole lot colder because of the cold front pushing through and also those wind gusts. So some folks will feel like the teens off into the northwestern counties, and then this afternoon we're going to feel like 20s to lower 30s in the afternoon hour. So your bus stop forecast, we're going to see those temperatures in the 30s, but like I said, that wind is going to pick up. Our clouds are going to calm down this afternoon. Sunshine will be peeking out, but only warming us up into the 40s this afternoon. So here's what we're tracking: a windy and chilly morning ahead of us, as well as a mild weekend ahead. I'll have the details on that. And Christmas Eve rain, we've been talking about it. I've got the updated forecast for you coming up in a bit.
All right, we'll see you soon, Chloe. Thanks. Well, we partner with a lot of businesses and charitable organizations to make the Toy Box project a success. And those include the folks at Miss Daisy's in Joplin who helped with shopping to make sure your donations are spent wisely. KOAM photojournalist Ty Parks gives us a look.
This year we shopped for kids from the Angel Tree for Salvation Army, and I was kind of like nervous that we were going to have to choose from a list, and it was great. It was so fun having that individual person to shop for. I think it just has a little bit more meaning. I mean, it's all great. We love shopping for the kids, but knowing that this is going to somebody who really wants it, and this is the item they were specifically asking for, just meant a lot more to us. I feel like this is a lot of fun, and it's just a way for us to give back to the community. And who doesn't love shopping for toys, especially kids that need them and want them, and just to see that joy. Well, we don't get to see the joy, but I wish we could. This is the best. I love it. I love that, getting to spend time with families. I think it makes people a little cheerier and maybe nicer. It's just, I mean, just the whole spirit of this season we totally enjoy. We love the customers that come into the store and are just excited to find that perfect gift for somebody. I feel like that's what we were doing today, is finding that perfect gift for a kid in need. My favorite part is just being around my family. Honestly, gift giving, I stress out with gift giving. So this makes it even more fun for me because the pressure is a little bit lower, but still going to somebody who I know will enjoy it.
Now you'll be able to rewatch and share that video with others, and you can find it on KOAMnewsnow.com. A lot of effort goes into getting toys to the families who need them, and we couldn't do this by ourselves. Every year we lean on the support of our community partners like the staff at Bishop and Hayes in Joplin, and for them the effort is certainly worth it.
Well, I would encourage everyone to donate to the Toy Box campaign because it benefits local kids. And the money that you donate goes right to the very county in which you live. And so, you know, if you want to help kids in your community, the KOAM Toy Box is a great way to do that.
We want to thank all of our partners that made our Toy Box campaign possible. Cherryvale Public Library accepted donations to help out less fortunate children. Now, children could pick out one toy from the donations and give it to a family member. Now, there were people there at the library to help wrap the presents just in time for Christmas.
It's really cool that the kids get to come and pick out for their families because, you know, they might not get that experience elsewhere. And so for them to be able to do that with completely free donations and, you know, not have to pay for it, it's been a pretty cool experience.
Now, the children also partook in various activities like creating candy canes out of pipe cleaners and or given free books. And that's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. Lebanese troops start clearing debris in southern Lebanon after an Israeli withdrawal. Plus, an explosion in Moscow has killed a top Russian general. We'll have the latest. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. Topping World Watch, hundreds of rescuers are still trying to rescue an injured woman stuck deep in a cave in Italy. 126 rescuers working in 5 teams are attempting to carry the woman on a stretcher from deep below the surface. Temperatures where she's trapped range from 44 to 46 degrees in high humidity. Now, she was injured when she fell exploring an uncharted branch of the cave Saturday. 8 other people were exploring with her when she fell. Members of her team reported her missing after reaching the surface Saturday evening, and rescuers reached her late Sunday. The rescuers say the 32-year-old is alert and responsive but has injuries to the face, ribs, and knee. Teams are using small explosives to reach her. Lebanese troops deploy in southern Lebanon after an Israeli withdrawal in accordance with a ceasefire. The Lebanese army said they began entering the town of KOAM near the border with Israel, which had some of the most intense fighting during the war. Now, days earlier, the Lebanese army began clearing debris and reopening roads in the northern section of the town. Israeli Defense Forces pulled out of the area in coordination with a UN peacekeeping force in the first withdrawal since a ceasefire between Israel and Hezbollah militants. Well, a top Russian general was killed in Moscow early Tuesday, and there are new questions over who is responsible for his death. Greg Palkett has more.
An explosion in Moscow, killing the head of Russia's nuclear and chemical forces early Tuesday. Officials within Ukraine Security Service, or SBU, are reportedly claiming responsibility.
We don't have a lot more information than what we're seeing in press reporting right now. We do not enable, nor do we support those kinds of missions.
Russia's investigative committee says Lieutenant General Igor Kirillov was on the way to his office when a bomb planted near an apartment building exploded. His assistant also died. Russian officials say they are now investigating the death as a case of terrorism.
The explosion was so strong, it was very scary.
At the time of his death, Kirillov was under sanctions from multiple countries for his role in Russia's war on Ukraine. And on Monday, the SBU charged him with directing the use of banned chemical weapons in combat. Russia has denied using toxic agents and instead accused Kyiv of deploying them on the battlefield. Over the past year, Russia has expanded the amount of territory it controls. On Tuesday, President Volodymyr Zelensky called on Western allies to take stronger action to stop Russian vessels from operating in European waters.
Doing so will not only cut off Russia's war funding, but will also protect nature.
Ukraine Security Service says it has recorded more than 4,800 cases of Russia using chemical weapons on the battlefield since the war began.
And that's a look at World Watch. We'll be right back.
Well, welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. We're starting to see wind gusts that are starting to ramp up. That northerly wind is what I want to point out right now. It's starting to increase. Our sustained winds are anywhere from 15 to almost 20 miles per hour, and that's our sustained wind. We'll see wind gusts upwards of 35 miles per hour anywhere between now and then 8 a.m. We'll see anywhere from 30 to 35, and then lunchtime it'll slowly start to decline. Our wind gusts upwards of 20 miles per hour, and then this evening we're going to begin to calm down. So really this morning is what I want you to keep an extra eye on as the kiddos are heading out to class. We also have this cold front pushing through. That's going to continue to push southward. Behind that cold front, temperatures in the 30s, 33 for Iola, 38 for Chanute going on right now. So for folks in southwest Missouri, northwest Arkansas, those temperatures are going to continue to decline over the next couple of hours or so. But with that cold front and the wind gusts, we're going to have our feel like temperatures in the teens for our northwestern counties. And then we'll slowly warm up a little bit, but not by much. Our feel like temperatures are still going to be in the 20s for a lot of folks across the 4 states. So really keep that in mind this morning and this afternoon. That bus stop forecast will actually be around the upper 30s, but again, our feel like temperatures are going to be a whole lot colder because of that wind gust upwards of 35 miles per hour. And then this afternoon, those winds are going to calm down. We'll also see some sunshine peeking out as those clouds begin to decrease this afternoon, but our temperatures are only going to warm up into the 40s this afternoon. 45 for your high in Joplin. We'll start to see that cool down after about 4 p.m. this afternoon. Yesterday, we saw an increase in our clouds. Today, we're going to see a decrease in those clouds this afternoon, and even into the evening hours, we'll see that continue to decrease into clearer skies. Later on tonight, our temperatures in the lower 30s for tonight, 30 degrees for your low in Joplin. Now, an overall look of the future track, we're going to see a pretty clear pattern over the next couple of days. We'll see a ridge set in off into the western U.S., and that's even going to affect us in the Central Plains. We're not going to see much into Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and throughout the weekend as well. We'll see some cooler temperatures with that. Of course, Friday especially we'll have some chillier temperatures, but then next week we're going to warm right back up, unfortunately right in time for Christmas. So we'll have warmer temperatures in the 50s and eventually the 60s at the middle of next week. And that rain chance on Monday night into Tuesday morning. Tuesday morning is Christmas Eve, so really keep that in mind if you have those traveling plans. Tuesday morning we could see some showers along with us that morning. That's going to begin to push out through Tuesday afternoon, and then we also have another chance for showers in the forecast. This is later on in the week. Next week, Friday, a 20% chance for some showers, but above all, a calm rest of this week. A little on the chilly side on Friday, your high only 39 degrees. But then next week, Monday night into Tuesday morning on Christmas Eve, could see a chance for showers. The next Friday is our next chance for showers. Of course, partly cloudy on Christmas Day. Stick around. We'll be right back.
The director of such acclaimed films as Moonlight and If Beale Street Could Talk is back with a film that extends a story that's been beloved for 30 years. David Daniel has a look.
Long before they became legends, Mufasa and the prince who would come to be known as Scar became brothers.
Hello, what's your name? Mufasa.
The original ruler of Pride Rock gets an origin story in Mufasa, the Lion King.
We do not associate with outsiders. Taka is the future king. We must protect the bloodline.
But Dad, I saved his life.
The prospect of a prequel intrigued the director, Oscar winner Barry Jenkins.
You spend very little time with Mufasa in the first film. He's only around for a couple days and he's like perfect, you know. He's this great father, this great leader, this great king.
I always wanted a brother. I always wanted a brother.
That person began life as an orphan, began life as someone who was separated from everything they knew and had to build a community amongst these other friends. I think that's a really empowering and powerful thing.
Now both of you go. Find your place in the circle of life.
Of course, there are always challengers to the throne.
The circle is broken. There will be one Lion King.
Mufasa, run!
The earth will shake. Destiny awaits you.
In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
Well, an ongoing research study puts lab rats in tiny cars, suggesting not only can they drive, they prefer it to walking. Jerry Roth has today's Take a Look at This.
Remarkable rodent research at the University of Richmond suggests not only can rats drive, but also they like it. The study, ongoing for several years now, is headed up by behavioral neuroscientist Kelly Lambert, whose team, using treats like Fruit Loops as incentives, prompted their teeny tiny test subjects to pilot homemade ratmobiles operated by holding a gas pedal-like lever to commute to the Fruit Loop loot. Lambert says eventually the rats learned to navigate using unique steering techniques and even seemed to prefer driving when given a choice.
Day after day, week after week, they would see the car, run to the car, jump into the car, and drive. So they went out of their way to drive. It suggests that they prefer the driving over walking.
The team is now looking into additional tests, such as possible head-to-head rat races to test competitiveness. Oh my God, can I buy tickets? And suggests their unique testing model can be replicated using other animals.
So any animal that can make an association between a reward and engage in a behavior to activate the vehicle can learn this.
A driver of the humankind was likely thinking rats after crashing through the wall of a fitness center and right into the facility's swimming pool. Thankfully, no one was in the pool when the crash occurred, and the driver reportedly escaped with only minor injuries. Emergency personnel were called to the scene and had to fish the vehicle out of the pool, then back through the gaping hole in the wall. No word on what exactly prompted the incident, but the bizarre scene definitely gives new meaning to carpooling. For Take a Look at This, I'm Jeremy Roth.
Glad that lady's okay, but maybe she should have left the driving to the rats. I don't know. Stick around. We'll be right back. Well, Taylor Swift's latest surprise wasn't a song, but a visit to a Kansas City children's hospital. Now, the pop icon, fresh off her Eras tour, shocks patients and parents Thursday with a visit. Swift takes selfies, videos, and gives gifts to some of the children at Mercy Hospital. Now, one young child even sings Taylor a song of their own. Well, it's time to shine an oven light onto one of the world's most beloved treats. Today is Bake Cookies Day. Now, this delicious but unofficial holiday started in the mid-1980s, and it's perfectly timed for this month to get into the holiday spirit. Now, cookies were believed to have been introduced to the U.S. in the 17th century, and the word cookie comes from the Dutch word that means small cake. Now, there are countless kinds of cookies in the world, but perhaps the most popular version is the classic chocolate chip cookie.
My favorite. Can't go wrong with that. I want you to know that it'll be quite windy this morning, so we'll start to see those wind gusts upwards of 35 miles per hour. So our feel-like temperature is going to be a whole lot colder than the actual temperature, which is 39 as those kiddos head off to school this morning. And then this afternoon, our temperatures are only going to get up into the 40s, 45 for your high in Joplin today. We'll see some decreasing clouds as we go on throughout the afternoon and evening hours. We'll see a decreasing trend in those clouds. Are low tonight, 30 degrees. So again, a chilly night tonight, but not as windy as it is this morning. So our wind chills won't be as low as they are today. Here's a look at your 7-day forecast and the rest of the forecast overall. We'll see a chance for showers Monday night into Tuesday morning, and next Friday, 2 days after Christmas Day, we could see another chance for showers, 20%. But this week, however, it's going to be relatively calm and clear. Friday will be only up to 39 degrees, so a little on the chilly side on Sunday afternoon, but a mild weekend, 45 degrees on Saturday and 50 degrees on Sunday. Stick around. We'll be right back.